breaking the law, asshole!
Thank you, my friend.
Ta-da!
All rise, order in the court. And Mike, did you hear the breaking news out of the Twitter X camp? They're going to charge a monthly subscription fee to use Twitter.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Like for me to use Twitter?
Yes.
For us to use Twitter?
Anybody. Yes, for anybody. They say that's the way of combating bots, apparently. That's the way.
Yes. Goodbye, X. I hardly knew ye.
I don't even use it. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a.
I would never, ever pay for that. Ever.
No. Would you pay for Facebook, even if it was just like a couple bucks a month? Would you pay for Facebook?
It would have to be under $5.
That's what I was thinking. I think that maybe Facebook and Reddit, yes. For me, that is it. But man, I just laughed at that. I was like, is this a real article? Is this because first I was like, okay, are they charging businesses? Because then I can kind of understand that. That's what Facebook does, because otherwise they're going to show you anything.
Yeah.
Show you to anybody.
You got to pay to play over there.
Anyways.
But yeah, that is crazy. Who?
I don't know.
I mean, who's if you're maybe the people that are paying for those check marks will still be the same people that would turn around and pay for that.
There's a certain slot channel that is that I noticed has a check mark on Facebook of all places. The awkward staring in your eyes guy.
He probably worked hard for that.
Yes, I'm sure he did.
You know, you hear the old funky drummer drumming here at the beginning, so you know court's starting. By the way, good shout out to, I think it's Downy, those little scent things you put in there.
Yeah, they're way too strong for people that are sensitive. So
it smells fantastic. That's all I can smell. It is strong. It's got sense. Now I know everybody's saying, hey, these people look familiar. Well, you'd be right, because we've seen these people already once before. When they were trying to, the couple down below was trying to get a TPO against the older gentleman that we're going to see in the courtroom this time.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing was denied last time. He talked about, you should smell the dog poop. The dog pooping, man. It smells so bad. It made me want to vomit.
I remember him.
So, and she's well known for her faces.
Mm-hmm.
So this time around, here we are back at it again. But this time everybody wants one. They want to hand them out like freebies.
Well, let's jump into it. I love when we have a follow-up.
Against Mr. Saka, and
by the way, if you missed the first video, it's down in the description below.
No, so if you're not watching live and you just started this video, you have no idea what we're talking about.
Before we get into it and you want to watch the first one, if you look down below, it's down there. Just go ahead and watch it there first and then watch us so you know what's going on.
For an order of protection against both Celia and Brian McMahon. And all right, so you both were here August 21st, and so there wasn't any further service needed. So that's
very quickly. Sorry to stop so quickly, but last time he wasn't dressed in his army stuff.
No,
right?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so I instantly think maybe this is a flex, but
or he can't get out of work. You know, maybe he can get off work
because
it does work for the government.
So Mr. Saka, you filed under 23248, but you're also responding in 246. So anything more that you want the court to know on your petition, or any more about your response?
Yes, Your Honor. I have the abject fear of Mr. and Mrs. McMahon. We are neighbors. I bought the property a year ago for my brother, who lost another brother that's want to relocate here from the East Coast down there. And when I bought the property was about as it is. They probably have a lot of issues, from roofing to plumbing to electrical, you name it. So for a year now, I've been working on the house to fix it. due to the action of Mr. and Mrs. McMahon on August 1st, I'm unable to go to the house since August 7th because we have a mutual order on us, and I know them. They can bait me, they can trap me to get me arrested. So
There is no order in effect on either of these
Oh.
matters. We've just set hearings to hear the full story. There have
Okay.
been no orders
it's
issued.
even better. It's even better, you know, because I'm afraid they're gonna make something up. They're gonna bait me. They're gonna trap me.
He's talking a lot about being baited, which could be taken.
Yeah, and it seems like maybe, just maybe,
Thank you, Mayor.
he thought there was a TPO in place from the last
That's
back in
'cause-
August, but
yeah,
it was
'cause that's like-
denied.
just like there's nothing. No, there's like
There's
on
nothing
there.
there. There's nothing on. Mayor, thank you so much for your support.
Neighbors baiting and trapping each other. Interesting. He bought it. He bought that place from his brother.
Yeah,
I'm not
which
sure
was
if-
we didn't get that last time that he had bought it from his brother. His brother wants to relocate to the East Coast. That may be a good idea for him as well. And for everyone who didn't get notifications, we have nothing to do with that.
yeah.
All we
no,
do
that's-
is turn
that's
on the
all.
computers, and that's up to YouTube to do their half of the job.
But if you want to, one good thing about us and this channel, Monday through Friday at 1:00 East is when we do this. So you can set your own little thing and remind
Mhm,
yourself,
mhm.
so you wouldn't even have to worry about it. And
Or
then-
join our Discord, and you'll get notifications each and every time we go
Yeah.
live.
yeah, you will. My God, Kristen, welcome.
Since
Hey.
August 7th, since I haven't been to my property, I have appointment for contractor to come and fix the house. They can't come. I have to cancel the appointment because of the incident of August 7th, because of the incidents of May 7th, because of the incident of January 23.
Oh, I was gonna say 7.
Yeah, if I instead of August 4th, I have a contractor to come and, as you already know from the report, I have a contractor to come and install a water heater in my house. Because I'm not living in the house, I had the city to turn the water off since February. So when they want to do the water heater, I have to go back to the city and say, could you please turn the water on for the plumber to install the water heater? As I was going to the water main to turn the water heater,
Is that a good idea if you own a house, you're going to be gone for a while, to have the water turned off?
I don't know how cold it gets in this part of we're in Washington State. I mean,
Yeah, I
it
would
seems like a
imagine
pretty
you get-
cold place, right?
I would think so. If you don't have the dripping, you got the icing, right?
Yeah, stuff's gonna freeze up in your pipes, bro.
Yeah, it's not good.
Toilet's gonna freeze and
every
bust.
time I just come and rush in a combat state. I'm retired from the army, from the military. I've been deployed to war zone a couple of times. He come in.
Is it a sausage link or patty? That makes a difference. But otherwise, I'll just go with bacon. Don't worry about it. Bacon's fine.
Sausage. Every time.
Even if it's a link on your sandwich,
Mhm,
that would be.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely.
combat state and trying to attack me, Your Honor. I have been previously attacked before in Lakewood.
Attacks.
And that experience and incoming with combat speed scares me. I have to run away to avoid. I could defend myself. I don't want to do that because that can get me in further trouble. So I have to run to front of my house and call 911. And police show up, and then he was threatening. I served 19 years in the army. I have nothing to lose.
I do like her face, Mike. Did you see it? She's like, "What? Wait, huh?"
Yeah, she's very animated. He said this guy's military, which fact. He also said he's been to wars, probably a fact,
That's true.
and that he's very scared of them coming and running at him, attacking. I believe was the word he just used. Hello, Mike T.
Attack, trapped, and baited.
Things are getting sticky.
His wife is coming and flipping me off, calling me all kind of names. This has been what I've been experiencing for about a year now.
Safe travels, Cole.
I found out later on that they have a domestic violence. You know, this domestic violence report.
So I'm not going to take up any of this, from each side, you both sort of filed information about past history that are independent of this situation here. It's all about character, and I'm not going to consider that. I've had it filed on both sides. We're both trying to lob this stuff at each other. I want to keep it focused on what the issues have been between the two of you, not what may have happened or what any of you have done going as far back as 2006. I think I saw some things filed, which is really not relevant, not material,
2006.
not admissible. But I make that decision, and I'm not.
What do you think that was?
About this sort of character discussion out.
I can't imagine, but that just shows that it's been going on for a while.
That had to be when the brother lived there, right?
Brother.
My brother.
No, brother. Brudder, I believe is how you spell that.
Brother.
Side of what's going on here. So let's step back to August 4th. When you say that he ran at you, can you explain that better? Give me kind of a step-by-step physically of what happened.
Yes, can I stand up?
Well, just have a
Oh, he's
seat.
going to do reenactment.
Yeah.
I came out of my front door. I have the tool to turn the water, the zero turn the water. I have the tool to turn the water. As I was on that water main area, which we only share, they have their water in there too. I have my water in there where they turn on off water.
So both they're independent water turn-ons and turn-offs, but they're housed in the hole next to each other.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
As I was standing down
Two
there,
in one hole.
trying to lift the lid up to turn the thing out with my tool, Mr. McMahon was just shaking his what do you call it?
So you say he's shaking his arms and fists.
It's a fence.
Oh.
It's a back fence. It was open the fence and coming to launch an attack on me. I was
Why
feared
do you say launch an attack? What was it about him that had you think
because
that?
the speed that is moving the fence to open and coming to me kind of make me feel like something bad is going to happen to me. And it's coming. There's nobody around but me. I'm the only one around, making me fear and scared for my life and scared for my safety. And as I mentioned to you, I've been assaulted before. And that bring to my head and I say, wow, this guy is going to come and assault you again. Is either defend yourself or run. So to avoid confrontation, I try to use the peaceful way and run and call the law enforcement agency, which is my legitimate duty to do that if I feel that the crime is about to occur. I think it's for me to call the police. And that's why I called the police. And the police came and I explained to them what happened, that this guy prevented me to turn my water main off. And they gave me a business. They said they didn't see any crime here. They gave me a business for them. And that, because I called 911, this is a retaliation on their part to come and file an anti-harassment order against me. Because I initiate calling 911, they think it's serious enough for them.
All right, so that's the crux of the situation in his head anyways, is that this is retaliation from these two, I guess, against him for him calling 911. Although, broken English, so I'm probably missing a little bit here and there. Mikey, did you catch a drift that 911 came out and didn't find anything illegal and kind of just brushed it off?
I have a very good feeling 911 showed up, talked to them, walked there, talked to them, and said, "I'll take care now." Right,
yeah, left. Yeah, or pretended that they had a serious call and drove away very fast.
Okay, we're writing stuff down. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
Cliff notes real quick. He was just there trying to turn the water on at the water meter. I don't know how it is in other people's countries, but like it is here, if you're housed, they'll house both meters in one place to just, when the houses are that close. Then this young man here in a beautiful uniform, shaking the fence like a gorilla trying to escape from the zoo.
that's just way scared. It was back there making all weird sounds, just shaking the fence.
So I mean, this is definitely. He seems scared, and I hate to see a grown man cry.
Yeah,
Or we do.
well,
And later that evening, as I was packing, ready to go home to my normal residence where I live, parking in my car. When I first came and put the first box in my car, Mrs. McMahon was not on the back porch of their window. I came to put the second box. Mrs. McMahon, Celia McMahon, respondent, came out from the back porch. She's flipping me, She's calling me a liar. I have to call police again. This time, not 911. I have to call police again and tell them.
Do you cause it that my neighbor's flipping me off? The one with the chapstick. Wow, good. That is an odd place. Leather lashes. You're right. I didn't even notice that's where she keeps her chapstick.
Maybe look. Maybe she just keeps them all over the house. Maybe she really worries about suffering from dry lips. I know I do. Again, calling somebody, you don't call 911 over for somebody flipping you off. You just making matters worse.
Right?
I mean, I don't,
That's what
I don't, these are all alleged things, and I'm about to allege something real quick. Do you think maybe this couple has a couple of drinks in the evening and they might get a little loose and like, you know,
Maybe. I
a little
mean,
rowdy, bowdy, perhaps? Allegedly, of course.
I mean, it's fun to flip people off, especially when they're your neighbor.
It is. It's like a first instinct. You just want to flip them
Right.
off.
Just, when they drive by, just to see what they say. It's like people that you should flip off, like road rage incidents. I always used to love to look and just smile and go, rather than flipping them off, because it just messes with people's minds.
This woman is harassing me again. She's calling me names. And when I call her and they say the police will get in touch with me. So because the police, sometimes they have history of not coming because he put in a petition that I filed too much harassment with other people. The police, I was driving on I-5, the police officer.
At least he's honest.
I believe his name is Sergeant Braniff. Call me. I have the log report from my cell phone that I put in my SD.
Look at all the papers he has.
Call me, and I told him what happened. And then he said, okay, I will give you the.
Now she had to break hers out.
She's got one.
The report number is in my.
It's like, you got papers? I got papers. How about that? So 911 pretty much is like, stop calling. You call too much.
You'll get fined, son. Fined.
So let me step you back. So then the same day later on
The same
August
day,
4th,
Your Honor, the
you're
same
saying
day.
that Ms. McMahon was flipping you off or giving you the finger, which is pretty much means fuck off. And I don't like to use the words, but we kind of
Wow.
have to use the words to understand.
Yes.
So that's what you
I see.
took that hand
I didn't see that coming from Judge. Did you? She seems
Oh.
so laid back.
She said it before a few times. Maybe in throes of passion, allegedly, but
which is pretty much means fuck off. And I don't like to use the words, but we kind of have to use the words to understand. So that's what you took that hand gesture.
poor man in court.
And
And then you said she was calling your names. What was she saying?
she's saying a liar. She's saying we got you now, something to that effect. She also mentioned the same thing before the police arrived on that when I called them on 911.
Yeah, did you hear how loud that was? It's like loud whimpering.
I know. I thought like I thought we were gonna go back to him, and he was just gonna be like drenched in tears. Why was that so loud?
We go back to him, and all of a sudden he's back to smiling, like
he's
introducing you when you get to your all-inclusive resort at the Bahamas.
Now, welcome.
She came out of her house. She said, we have 4 cameras on you now. We're going to get you. She's flipping me off. She's yelling at me that the 911 dispatcher was hearing all these conversations when they are yelling at both her and her husband. The 911 dispatcher asked me, is that those people I call the police on? I say, yes, ma'am, it's them. And it's reflected in the police report on August 4th that they are doing that the dispatcher can even hear this. That's how loud they are. They can hear this over the phone. That the way they are treating and talking to me, they're threatening me.
So you say threatening you.
Yes.
How threatening? Is that we've got you now? Is that what you believed was a threat?
Physical combat speed coming at me. I feel threatened by that, Your Honor.
So when you say combat speed, that doesn't mean much to me. So what does that mean to you?
Yes, Your Honor. As a military person, when you want to do something in hasty and hurry and fast and furious, you move at a combat speed, Your Honor.
Does that mean running, walking
Running hastily, doing as fast as you could to get to that objective.
Okay.
Right, so he walks out of his house. A military guy just is like lunged, like he's ready to play football, and just comes at you like he's going to receive a 50-yard pass or something. I don't
He's in
understand.
full combat mode, Creed. This man has got himself in the stance. Fast, furious, hard-hitting, repetitive. Perhaps, who knows? But wow, he is really coming in with as a combat veteran himself. He fought, I don't know where, Well, he fought somebody, I guarantee you.
I don't know. Why do I feel as if I hated her last time though?
Oh, we all did. Are you
What?
kidding? She was
I
awful.
thought so. That's
Awful.
instantly saw her face and thought that. So far though, hearing this side of his stuff, I'm gonna suspend my thoughts, but Celia, my God, he seems insufferable to be living by. I'm just saying.
Okay, so you saw Mr. McMahon running at you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did he? And so then you got up, you were on your knees or something in the hole with the tool?
I was just
You were bent over?
Yeah, bent over with the
He was in a submissive position.
Yep,
The
the big heavy lid.
Yes, Your Honor. Trying to get a lead. That's when this incident happened.
So then what did you do when you see him running at you?
Your Honor, as I've said, I have the experience of being assaulted before.
Yep, by someone else in Lakewood,
yes,
right?
Your Honor. And then also,
So
did you drop the
PTSD.
I
tool?
dropped the tool. I ran to my house and called 911.
Did Mr. McMahon chase you into your house?
As soon as I ran to my house, she stopped down where she was at the back of her house.
Say she or he?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so Mr. McMahon. that's all
Mr.
right.
McMahon, I'm sorry. My
So-
pronunciation.
So he runs at you,
And-
you drop the tool, you run to your inside your house, but he doesn't.
Oh, he had a
follow you
tool in
to
his
your
hand?
house.
He doesn't follow me.
He was turning on the water. So he was
Oh,
using
that's
that
right.
street key.
911 day.
Right.
All right.
And that's when he came to the front of his house and making all this threatening. I served 19 years in the army. I have nothing to lose. And his wife came out and started calling me names, calling me out.
D, so many that they said that 911 basically said stop calling. So it's got to be quite a bit. And his paperwork is pretty thick.
Look at it all. I mean, there's like an entire tree on that table.
Now we're gonna get you.
So when you heard 19 years in the army, nothing to lose, what did that mean to you?
Your Honor, it sounds very threatening.
Why? What did that mean to you?
Yes, Your Honor, it means to me like I'm almost to the end of my career. I don't care if anything happens to me now or not. I can do whatever I want to do. That's what it means to me. When people get to the pinnacle of their career, sometimes they tend to just feel carefree sometimes. Like I'm almost to the finish line. It's like somebody running a marathon or running a race, going to the end of the finish line. When you almost get there, sometimes you relax a little bit. I'm almost crossed the line. So that is the meaning of that in the military. Like when you almost to your retirement time, you feel you have more leeway. You can get away with things, or you can do freely as you want to be.
That's her flipping them off.
Yes,
Face is spot on, actually.
I thought so.
You missed the lips a little bit. They're a little bit too.
She's snarling.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, right.
Those
lip kind of curled.
lips that I believe the quote was, her lips look like cracked sidewalks.
Yes.
Without being no repercussion or so, because they're gonna just push you in. That you almost retired, they will.
And you spent a career in
24 years, Your Honor.
Army as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So then what did you think that meant was going to happen after you said that?
I felt he feel like he can do anything he wants to do, and nothing's gonna
But
happen.
what? What did you think? Why did that frighten you? What
It
did you
frightened
think?
me because I can come and hurt you, I can come and kill you, I can come and assault you.
Jeez.
All this possibility of harm and danger comes to my head when I hear that, Your Honor.
All right.
And as I said, being assaulted before in Lakewood also played that into my consideration. And also another incident I haven't mentioned to you that I'm going to that incident also. Incident of May 7th, when I was sitting for my contractor to wait for my contractor. I was the first one to sit on my driveway. Mrs. McMahon have a habit. When I go outside, she will find reason to come outside. When she doing my lawnmower, many times I have to prevent from, I'm trying to do my lawnmower. Mrs. McMahon will come and do lawnmower at the same time. I avoid, and on this day, I say, I'm waiting for the contractor. The house in Mercy is not fun to stay down there because of the construction mess. I say, it's better to stay on my driveway. Why wait for the contractor, Your Honor?
And I'm looking at your petition again and your other information about May 7th. And so, all right. So I thought Well, for what I took from your petition, and maybe I misunderstood then, is that you're waiting for the contractor and your impression is she wants to start mowing.
Yes, she came out. I saw her. I was the first one outside my driveway. She came out in front of our house, She came to our garage, grabbed a lawnmower, and she put the lawnmower close to the property boundary where I was. It's close to vicinity. It's like where you are there, I moved my lawnmower close to that bench.
All right, so she was on her property.
Yeah, but she moved
beginning.
and then
Okay,
she started.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah,
on the property, I think.
Doesn't matter. Okay, this is the first time I've really wholeheartedly disagreed with him. There was talk about the lawnmower and her mowing her grass and things in the last hearing.
Yeah.
But maybe her husband's a taskmaster. Maybe he said, "Look here, that grass better be cut before I get to the house. You got 45 minutes. I'm on my way."
Lawnmower doesn't start. Okay, and then later on, our neighbors come to help her to start the lawnmower. She seems to be frustrated. Other neighbors came in. After she do that, and then the other neighbors left. That's when she started accusing me of taking picture of her because I was checking myself to see if the contractor tests me, because sometimes when I wait for them, they will test me. I'm in the traffic. I'll be there 10 minutes or so. Sometimes they don't call because they are driving. So I was checking my test phone to see if they test me. While I was doing that, she think I was taking picture of her, which I wasn't, And she started accusing me of taking picture of me and all that stuff.
So let me step back to the mowing. She's on her property with her mower. What was the problem there?
She was topless.
That was before she accused me. She stopped. She paused with the lawnmower and come and verbally attack me, say I'm taking picture of her. I'm this and that, calling me names.
Okay, so what is she calling you? What names is she calling you?
She said, I'm taking picture of her son. She said, I'm a liar. Okay. She said, I'm harassing her and a little child. And I'm calling police for no reason.
Wow.
And she just keep going. Okay. And then later on, I was trying
Those
to.
Those are terrible names.
Then I have two friends, Mrs. DeFeo and Mr. Shane Butler, forgiving. And later on,
fake names.
Shane Butler also have an incident. He was there calling me names.
The Shambutler.
When I was coming to that too, she called me names before. But anyway, during the interaction with the friends, also she said that in front of them, I wish they could be honest and come and testify about what they said. She said to them, I hate him and I'll kill him.
And so you hear
Mrs. McMahon
say to whom?
So to Mrs. DeFeo and Mr. Shane Butler.
Shambhala.
She said to them, I hate him and I'll kill him.
Okay, and that was on
May 7th, yes,
That's complete hearsay, though, right? You're just saying that she told me. I'm guessing that these other fake names are
Shambhala. Or her friends. Remember, she's friends with Shambhala. We did hear this lastly in the case when he said her friends were leaving and there was a whole big thing about what time they were leaving. There was a back and forth about the exact time and whatnot. But they had to figure out what was going on because that's when she allegedly made the threat she was going to kill him.
Right. I also remember, if I'm not mistaken, when he threw in the whole cutting the grass situation last time and we kind of lost our shit because it's so random and just such a strange, odd time for him to throw that in there.
It's really weird that when her friends are leaving, she's like, you know what? Mr. Shambhala. I'm so glad you came by to see and visit with the family. Please tell your mother I said hello. Oh, by the way, see that guy over there? That's my neighbor. I hate him. I want to kill him. Y'all take care now.
And you took that
I took it very seriously. At the same time, I took it light. I said, well, just downplaying it. It's not big. I'm upset. She's just angry. Just downplaying it. I downplaying it. But when I got home, It's still bothering me till midnight on that day. It bothered me. I can't sleep. So I have to call police again. I have a follow-up. Just to let you know, this woman threatened me. She said this on the phone. The police officer called me back, Officer Ben, and he said, don't worry, go and get your sleep. She's not going to kill you. She's not going to hurt you.
By the way, does he work for FEMA? You see on his shirt?
I
guess that's not. I don't know. That
it's pretty damn close.
I mean, yeah, there's
that second one. If you look at that second one with the just really inverting the colors. Maybe. I mean, he was in the military for 24 years, he says. So I mean, you would think these two guys would be best of friends. He's
Right,
former military, he's in the military. They could be like drinking buddies and stuff, but instead we're going through this stupid shit.
I don't know if you put that in the report or not. The police officer Ben reassured me that not to worry, that she's not going to kill me.
Okay.
But you told me not to bring the incident of this
judge
stuff. But then I read the report of that incident with domestic violence, and it brings spine to me. Like, wow, maybe I do the right thing to call police again to report what she threatened me.
All right.
So that happened, and then in January of 2023, as you know, I don't live in the property. I came about 9 o'clock to start working on the house and waiting for the contractor.
So 9 p.m. or 9 a.m.?
8 a.m. in the morning, Your Honor.
Okay.
In the morning.
All right.
And I saw my fence along Mr. and Mrs. McMahon property pushed down.
Yeah. So you can. There's a gap. So you have a wooden fence.
Yes, Your Honor.
There's a gap, and then they have a chain link fence. If
Yes,
I got
Your
that
Honor.
right.
they have
All
a
right.
gap
And
store right on their
and
property.
The gap is what, 2,
Humble
3
brag.
No, it's not even that
Not
much
even
that
that?
because there's a chain link fence for privacy reason. I erected my wooden fence over next to that, very close to the chain link fence.
And so you had put that fence up before January?
I was putting it on since last summer, but I haven't get to that section yet.
Okay.
I put that fence before January. Yes, Your Honor. I put that fence up. The pictures show in the exhibit. I put the fence up, and I even anticipate that there might be a windstorm or something. So I want to put 4x4, 4x12. I put barrier.
Oh, but this is in Mikey's wheelhouse here. Get ready. We're gonna hear some fence talk.
Against that, and because of the dog poop that she out next to.
That's the first mention we've heard about the poop, right?
And that was a big point of contention in the last one. Look, the man's fence blowing down, maybe it's some shoddy work. Maybe it's an old fence. Or just maybe they were like, you know what, your shitty fence is leaning against our nice fence, and we're going to push it over.
He also said there's a chain link fence too, right?
Well, that's their fence. It's a nice one.
Where the fence is, I put additional corrugated iron to cover the odors of that because, Your Honor, in the summertime, the odor is just unbelievable. And I cover it up because of that.
Great frame.
In the summertime.
Kendra, thank you. I love late fees. Appreciate you.
In the summertime when the dog shit is hot and it smells real bad, it makes me want to vomit. I walk around, I go fishing, I go walking in my yard.
So I put additional barrier against that. I came to my house on that January 23rd and I saw my fence look like the other side is okay, but the one next to Mrs. McMahon and the one next to that dog feces that I mentioned to you is the one that was pushed down. So I don't know what to do. To do the legitimate reason, I call the police and say, this is what happened.
So your wooden fence is pushed down into the chain link fence, if I remember right.
From chain link fence
to the other way, onto your property.
I have the picture of it here, I know.
Yeah, I remember looking. I just need to be reminded.
I have the
So, all right. So it's pushed down onto your property from the side that the McMahons live.
Yes,
all right.
this is picture here, you know.
Right, and you filed all that.
Yes,
so I've seen that. I was
yeah.
just trying
So
to
the
recall.
fence was pushed down. As you see, it was. This is before.
So why do you think it was pushed down?
Because if it's the wind that causes that the wind will knock almost everything on that side. They have a shade down there which provide a barrier for the wind to push it down. They also have the tree line down there, even though there is no leaves on the tree. The tree is it's like a skyscraper high that will prevent the wind from knock. But this fence is so lower. As in here, next behind the shed, the wind, force of gravity can knock the wind can knock the fence down. The way it appears to be, it appears that somebody pushed it.
Okay, and why do you blame the McMahons?
Because number one, Your Honor, she doesn't want me to erect the fence. She called the fence eyesore and ugly. She's okay, Your Honor. And not only that, she come to my property on October 17 and harassed me because of that.
Before January.
Before January.
Okay.
Before January. I will get to that too, Your Honor.
All right.
So she showed an intention the state for my fence already before that fence was knocked down. So, and I just feel suspicious that she might do the one. I don't want to jump to the wrong conclusion or jump to conclusion. That's why I call the police to sort things out. If there's a possible crime or something happened, and the police told me they went to her and she said she showed some video or something. The police was in her house for over 45 minutes or so, about half an hour. And then he even said that the police have a camera for which is, I think, is some professional for police to get involved with personal stuff like that. So they were down their house and they came out. They just, the way they look at me, the way they treat me, like this is just nothing. So, and look.
How long? So in January, this event. How long had it been since you've been at this house?
I come there every 2 days, every 3 days, every 2 or 3 days.
So you've been there within 3 days.
Yeah, I haven't been there within 3 days.
Right.
And I also show another incident that happened. So
Donnie, something tells me it wouldn't be going this long. So let's break this down. We're at like the 35-minute mark with them, right? With him going on and on. We've had a couple of flipping offs, right? And I'm talking about just this case here, not what we heard last time.
Prior, yeah.
Okay. So flipping off from these two down here, allegedly told a couple of people that she wants to kill him. Right. There's allegedly a fence that was pushed down because the wind couldn't possibly blow it down that way. It'd be the other way, if I'm not mistaken.
Wind only blows in one direction in his neck of the woods.
Right. Isn't that's basically it? Some shouting at him and the running toward, which I don't know.
Combat. He was in a combat stance.
Right.
He was combat ready. He was ready to rock, ready to, But my question is this. Say somebody, all right, Creed, you have a neighbor. They've got a shitty fence. It falls over on your very expensive chain link fence.
Yeah.
Do you push it back over towards their property, or do you just let it lay there against your fence?
I would push it back, especially if it's a common thing and if it's a piece of junk. Yeah. Absolutely in a heartbeat. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not surprised if they did. By the way, if you see here, Creed, I wanted to diagram this real quick. This is
the gap
fence right here.
Right.
And that's their really nice chain link fence on the other side.
Yes.
And that's the big giant mountain of dog shit that smells up the entire place during
which we haven't. He's only alluded to that a couple of times. He hasn't really gone off about it like he did last time. I
really want to know the breed of the dogs, or if it's just one. Maybe it's them. Maybe they're pooping in the backyard just for spite.
So far on this one, I think we have it pretty much all covered. That's his. If you take out all the other stuff, that is it.
It's at the core of what's wrong here.
That's what's taken us 30 plus minutes to get to so far.
After I left on that incident, I haven't been there for 2 days. The next time I come after 2 days after the incident, she went to erect a firearm sign next to my property.
That was after January.
After January, after that January 23. 2 days after I came to the property, 2 days after January 23, it might be 25 or 26. Don't quote me on that,
Thank God he's not there full time.
About 2 days
Shit. Could you imagine?
After that January 23rd incident. and I saw the firearm sign saying deadly arm, and I went to look at the dictionary. It says somebody armed. Is somebody armed? Is somebody that carry weapons? You don't put that kind of sign either to intimidate or to threaten or to harass somebody. I feel personally threatened. I feel that she might shoot me someday. She might attack me someday. It's like pre-warning to me.
Hold on.
that this
Hold
is-
on. Is he talking about like they got a sign up that says this property is protected by Smith and Wesson? Something like that.
I highly doubt that, but yeah, I want to know what
It seems like one of those satirical signs that you put up, but like letting people know, hey, we got pew-pews in here. Don't come busting up in my place.
right? I want to see what this is. Please,
I
Judge,
want to know
ask.
when I see that fence. And then I went to look at the next property next to her. I looked around, even though there's a shrub down there. She didn't put that same firearm sign next to that fence, next to another property next to her. So in essence, Your Honor, I feel I'm being targeted for that sign to send me a message, to intimidate me. So it makes me feel frightened and scared that maybe someday she says something about dying there. This property is not worth dying for. I don't know if it's a code word she's trying to use or something. In my sign, I put no trespassing down there. It doesn't say no firearm. I don't say killing anybody. In a specific say, I'm going to kill you if you come to my house. So that is very threatening.
That's what the sign said.
I was going to say, is that what the sign says? I'm going to kill you if you come to my house.
At least it's cut and dry. It's nothing. But like you're not the big thing like trespassers will be shot, survivors will be shot again. You know, stuff like that. I'm like, come on, man. What are we talking about?
Did you get that sign probably from Timu, I would imagine?
Yes.
I'll kill you if you walk on my property.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what you wrote in your petition and what I saw in the McMahon's is this property warning, this property owner's arm, nothing inside is worth dying for, with
Dying
a picture of a handgun.
Yes,
So
yes, Your Honor.
There it is. So nothing inside is worth dying for.
With a picture of a hand pew pew. That's intriguing.
Yeah.
Again, that's my father-in-law's got signs like that all over his like garage and outside on at his garage door and stuff. You know, it's
Right.
It's not
That's
that out there that people he
that's
didn't manufacture that sign itself. They sell
Right.
plenty of them. They've been selling them for years.
Yeah, I don't think that's too outlandish.
all right, and so that
Now, if I saw that sign as somebody that was, I guess, coming after me in combat mode and all that, it may be a little different. But yeah, I mean, that's Jesus Christ. Then again, here in the South, signs like that are very prominent. Where I'm sure in a lot of other states they're not as prominent as. I mean,
as prominent as welcome signs around here. I mean, come on,
right?
man.
I mean, there's a lot of signage,
Tons of it.
So
all up and down to homemade ones, you name them.
Yeah.
They're
Flags like you wouldn't believe. You guys
out of the road. I mean, they're everywhere.
that went up after January 23rd.
23rd, Your Honor.
Before, all right, before what brought you into court.
Yes, Your Honor.
You think so? Sometime in January. or-
January 25th or
Okay.
January, 2 or 3 days, because I come to the house 2 or 3 days, to check the house, to do things myself, to
Okay.
wait for the contractor to come and do things.
So was there ever a time that you feel you had a working relationship with your neighbors?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
I will start with, I introduced myself to the Mr. Borison across the street from me. This Christmas, they gave me a cupcake.
Well, I'm thinking these folks, the McMahons. Did
Oh,
you
no,
ever
no.
have a time that you had a working relationship
No,
with
they
them?
say you just started off the bat. I think I mentioned
BRB,
the first
okay,
day
for a
I
second.
made them, maybe
Oh, yeah.
I rubbed them in the wrong way. The first day I made them, the first day I closed the house, I went to ask him that your trees are causing problem to my roof. It's damaging. I'm going to cut it. So in hindsight, after I
remember
told
this.
him, and I said, maybe I shouldn't have bring that up, meeting somebody the first time and bring that, but I was so disappointed that the tree is causing damage to the roof. And that's my first introduction to him. And his way he looks to me after I make that comment, he was not really thrilled or happy about it.
So when about was that?
This
that
was
started?
I closed the house in May 25th or 25th, I believe.
2022?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so May of 2022,
Yeah.
and then your first contact, was it in person or in writing or phone call? What?
With Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
When I came on Saturday, the day after I closed, I came the first Saturday and I saw him in his backyard and I said, I'm your new neighbor. I introduced myself to him and he told me that he's previous service and he's infantry. And I introduced myself. I said, I'm retired from the army myself to introduce. But after I bring that treat issue up, Your Honor, Mr. McMahon will walk his dog every day in the evening in front of my house when I'm mowing the grass or doing something outside. He will never acknowledge me. He will always ignore it with other neighbors before my house. He will say hi to them, he will wave at them. But when he gets to me, he will just give me a cold shoulder. That's when he's going to use his cell phone. That is on cell phone. So it just feels like he's trying to avoid me for one reason or another. So when I start having issue with him and his wife, instead of going to them and talk to them directly, I asked another neighbor to intercede when I started smelling the dog feces. So instead of going to them, I asked Mr. Borison, which live across the street from us, to intercede and let me go and talk to them about the problem I'm having. So if I come to them, they might take it personally. But Mr. Borison went to talk to them the first thing when I asked him, I said, witness Mr. Borison to come to my property and see what I'm smelling. The first thing Mr. Borison said is that these things, when you go to the line on my property, he said, these things, meaning the dog feces along, you can smell it. He said, especially in the summertime when the weather is warm, he said it's even worse. I said, that's what I'm experiencing. Sometimes, when I'm mowing my grass, I have to put the mask on my nose next to that shed where they have the dog feces on.
Oh, shed.
Before I erected my fence, I saw my plain eyes. They have clippings of grass. On top of it, they must just recently put a fresh dog feces on the top. Before I can see my chain link fence, before I erected my wooden fence, I saw this with my 2 eyes.
So is that gap between your fences open on the ends, or is it an enclosed space?
No, it's because of the picket. The picket is not make it so close, but due to the expansion and contraction, sometimes the picket.
No, I'm thinking your fence, neighbor's fence.
Yes.
There's a gap in between, and can anybody come from the street and walk through, or is it closed off?
It's closed off, Your Honor.
So how do you get into that gap? Do you have a fence? Do you have a gate into that gap? Do they have a gate into that gap, or what? No.
No.
So
Shimmy in there.
fenced on
It's
four sides.
It's 4 sides.
So is it somebody else's fence on the end, another neighbor's?
Yeah, they
three
have a
sides?
chain link fence all around surrounding each property. Chain link
Okay.
fence is what they use all around each
And so
property.
all the chain link
Oh,
fences
yeah.
meet up and.
Yeah, made up, yes, Your Honor, to show the demarcation line between the properties.
Okay.
They use the chain link fence to do that.
All
But
right.
for my privacy, I go extra mile.
Yep.
To put my wooden fence down there for privacy.
Mhm.
And she accused me of peeping or something like that. If I want to peep, somebody want to peep, want to put additional fence or barrier? It just doesn't make sense or logic to me. If it's accused me of washing her son dressing or so, Your Honor, this woman, she's just making things up. I volunteer in my church. I work for the
Let me
children.
back up. I have another
Right.
question. So
Yes.
the way your neighborhood is designed, so you obviously live next door to each other and there's
I
a
like that
street.
idea.
And is the street, is it a cul-de-sac? or
The
is it a
street is
through
in front
street?
of us, Your Honor.
It's a through street or is it an end?
I have a picture of
Yeah.
the.
It's a through street though.
Yeah, it's a true street, Your Honor, but nobody
Okay.
can park on the street.
Right, and so the
So-
neighbors across the street, but people can drive all the way.
Yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor. Yes,
Got it.
he's my Mr. Griffin is on my right side of the property. Mr. and Mrs. McMahon was on my left side of my I was sitting between both of them, and across me.
So I left at a very shitty time when he
Yeah,
did
you picked a really bad time to leave.
right
Oh,
into
boy.
it, right?
So much stuff right there.
Yeah.
So he says that before his fence right up, he can see all the shit just everywhere.
There
And they were
can't be
using it-
that much, right? Is it
I don't know how many
possible?
dogs they got.
Seriously?
All right, so my next door neighbor over here used to have a fairly big dog. I think the dog's name was Camlock. Pretty big dog. It was a German Shepherd. And he would, do his business over there. And I'm figuring it's sizable. But when they would cut the grass over
Mhm.
there, whoo,
Oh, it was
man,
like
the
super ripe?
smell. Oh my goodness. And I had to cut their
Mhm.
yard for him a couple times. And I was like this, like him out there trying to cut the
Oh,
grass because it was just
wow.
so overpoweringly strong. So I get that idea. But at the same time, there's nothing I don't think there's an ordinance on smells. I don't know for residential areas,
God.
but he said they were covering up the fresh logs with lawn clippings. That doesn't make sense. Why would you do that? Well, I mean, all that work you're exerting doing that, you could just take the shit up and throw it over his fence onto his property or something, or anywhere.
We got a huge chunk of land that Coda
Humble
uses
brag.
from one end to the other. She's very good. Like every single drop is like in a different corner or a different spot. So it's like it's never that bad ever. Thank God. My God. I listen. If I had to smell that all the time, though, I kind of could understand that. But
Is Mr. Borison next to Mr. Borison, Mrs. Shelley showing, so the demarcation line for the property is that chain link fence that they put down there. It's about 6 feet or so high, and you can see through. Privacy for anybody. You can see through what everybody is doing. So that's why I go extra mile to try to put my fence down there. But she doesn't like that idea that made me put a fence down there. So
So let me ask one more question. Part of what my train of thought here
Only when
was,
I'm in
so
Florida,
to get in
Pamela.
and out of the neighborhood, you can go either direction on that road.
On that road, yes,
All right.
yes,
All
and
right.
sometimes because there is no parking on that street according to the city. When I have another SUV parking my driveway already because I have the neighbors on my right side. They tend to have friends. They tend to park over my property. To prevent that, I bought another vehicle to sit on my driveway for that.
Okay.
So when I come in with another vehicle and the contractor is coming, there is no space for the contractor to park their vehicle. So what I end up doing, there is a post office about 3 or 4 blocks from my house. I will go, that post office is okay to park around that area, but all the street to the post office, you can park down there. So I will drive my vehicle, go and park the car next to the post office where people can park. I will walk back to my house. And when the contractor comes, they will park their vehicle in my driveway in addition to the other vehicle down there. And when the contractor leaves, I will go back to the post office and drive my vehicle back.
what does this have to? Okay, so it goes and parks at the post office. What does this have to do with your neighbors? I don't understand that. Yeah, it may be an inconvenience. The neighbors over here are getting cement poured, brand new driveway. Yeah, they're parked over the other neighbors. That's kind of how that has to, you're slightly inconvenienced when
I mean, I get slightly inconvenienced when my neighbors are getting their grass cut because here comes all the giant lawn service, vehicles with the giant trailers and everything else, like they're cutting, 18 acres, show up. You have a hard time backing out of your driveway. But again, I want to like this guy, but he's really giving me a hard time because it's just
really
like
is.
relentless, nonstop. So I see why the police got tired of him
I was
constantly.
just gonna say I feel
calling.
as if I'm a 911 operator right now, and this guy's just now is he trying to swing this whole contractors and him having to park at the post office as an inconvenience because of the poop somehow? Am I missing that part? Maybe is he trying to weave that web that
he's trying to do at this point?
it is very random, very random, this part
so
of
I
it.
can go home. So
So, all right, let me see if I've got any questions.
Just shut 'em down. All right.
Before I turn over to the McMahons.
Anytime.
Take your time. We got nothing but time here, ma'am. Lady woman.
All right, so to move over to the McMahons and have them.
Now's the
tell me
time when
about
we
their
start hating
petition
them and
and
just
respond
love
to
him
your
no matter what.
petition.
Yeah, no, we're going. It's going to turn to tides real quick.
On, after that January 23,
Mhm.
after I saw Mr. Boris in front of, so I went to explain to her, I called police because I saw my seatbelt
Mhm.
pushed down. Mrs. McMahon was looking at me. I was across the street from Mr. Boris in second floor window, looking at me. And suddenly she jumped out of her house. She ran to me where I was talking to Mr. Boris in his driveway. She yelled at me. She said, "Do you know it's against the law to make false report to the police?" Referring to the police I called earlier for my fence. I was so disturbed. I was so.
I thought we
was
were
so
done.
frightened. I was so annoyed. I was so harassed. So to avoid confrontation with her, I left with Mr. Borison. I walked back to my driveway. And before I get to my driveway, just to get an evidence, I snapped a picture of him, of her, and Mr. Borison together while standing. She was standing in the same spot I was standing before she came. She came and followed me. That is stalking. That is harassing for her to do that.
Okay.
So that is, and then
it's reach. It's reach, bud.
Kind of like these mini Creed frames we keep having here. Hold on.
I just thought you were very entertained. It's like, look at the smile on his face. My God, this guy is loving life.
Is it possible for her to shut him down again, please? We've heard enough. I'm sorry. You've had more than enough time.
October 17, she did the same thing again, Your Honor. While my contractors are installing the countertop in my window, we can see my window through the back door. She's throwing debris back to my house. She's throwing from our property, she's throwing debris. And then later on, I don't want to make a situation because it's going to make the contractor stop or whatever. I just ignore it and after the contractor, I saw her on this air. I said, "Why are you throwing stuff in my house?" She said, "You're trying to kill my dog." Then she came over from her property to my property, in front of my property. She said she was 9 inches.
Why did you get a sign?
3 feet into my property. She's standing down there, mimicking my accent, Your Honor, making accent, Your Honor, calling me names and taking video. I have a cell phone with her, videotaping this conversation, trying to trap me or do something. That was very annoying. That was very harassing for somebody to trespass. And finally, I have enough of it. I said, "You need to leave. You're trespassing. You need to leave right now. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to."
By the way, I think you guys might be right. Is she really seriously slumped over? It almost does appear like you can see that the lady that was back here is gone.
Yeah, where
now.
did she go?
We're thinking that she might be taking a nap. Like that almost looks like it is her elbow.
Siesta,
Right?
perhaps. Look, I have no time for people sitting around making fun of people's accents. I would never do it in my lifetime.
No, never. We would.
But if she was literally doing that, where she was like, "Oh, look at you, you're gonna give me a hard time," or something like that, that's so uncalled for. It's childish. Childish, I say. She should be ashamed of herself.
But she didn't listen to that. After an incident, she still followed me to Mr. Borison's house and yelled at me. This is the kind of harassment I'm facing from Mrs. McMahon, Your Honor.
And that was before
Borison's
the
house.
sign went up on her property.
Before the sign went on our property, before, Your Honor. This happened on October 17, 2022, of when she come and trespass on my property. And I have a picture of her in here, Your Honor.
Oh, you said you didn't take pictures. How'd you get this picture?
Filed all of that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, yeah,
Yes,
I've
Your
seen all of that.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
where okay, so you're saying she came onto your front property and all right.
I thought she said she
And
came
was-
on to you. I
She
thought
was
we were.
threatening me. She was calling me. She's calling me out. She's do everything to provoke me, Your Honor, on my property.
Oh nope, she's back.
Oh, okay, there she
Yeah,
is.
Your Honor.
You had to
Myth
order.
busted.
She had to go freshen up.
All right. And then from
You
there,
think she's with him?
got on to January, and then May and August caused you to kind of come on in. All right.
Gary thinks maybe. Like, that's his wife.
Or mother?
I don't think he has a
So,
wife, to be honest
You live
with you.
right next door to each other. You share a property line.
Yes,
You share relationships with neighbors. You have to use the same street, and it's impossible, probably in some ways, not to look at each other. Is your mailbox on the
Mailbox
street?
on the street.
And are they shared?
We don't share no mailbox. Your Honor.
Okay, and you share a water
What?
turn on and turn off,
Yes, Your Honor.
and at least the hole where everything is. And
Let's share the whole.
So we're asking
God bless.
the court to do what with an order?
I'm asking the court for first for stalking. She stalked me on 2 occasions.
What does that mean? What do you want in particular the court to order that she not do?
Yes, Your Honor, not to follow me to a neighbor's house, not to come to my property. That is stalking. Come to somebody's property and talk to them. I consider that as stalking also. And I also want.
I've had tons of neighbors stalk me then. I didn't even know.
Okay,
Right.
How do I, the best word to use it? For facial harassment or threat. So to have another in place, so she can flip on me, she can call me name, she can come to my property, you know. So I need an order for that, a permanent order that will stop that, because right now I am at her mercy. Anything she said, this woman, I don't want to react. She have a bad temper, Your Honor. I know somebody have a bad temper. She would just flip within a minute. This woman will flip.
So you want her to stay off of your property,
Property,
not
no,
follow you around,
no,
don't
no, harass-
contact you
No, yes,
in
Your
any
Honor.
way.
Not to harass me anymore. I'm
Well, in
He's doing the
particular,
crying thing again.
Actions, not just this legal term of harassment. that
He's
you
crying.
said.
It's like a cry voice.
Down to exactly what you want her to stop doing in particular, and that seems to be, don't follow you, don't come onto your property, and you want this as to Ms. McMahon and Mr. McMahon.
This is such an interesting dynamic because I want to remind you guys, those of you who were not here for the first time around with these two, we hated these two down here. I mean, with a passion. So it's going to be interesting once they start speaking where this turns. I know you guys say this guy now is like our enemy, right? I mean,
He's done himself no favors. Let's put it this way. If his testimony would have took 10 minutes instead of 39 minutes, I think we all would have felt a little different.
absolutely. If he would have just gotten to the point, and
He's just
said
drug it on and just filled our ears with the repetitiveness of the smelly dog shit, and
Right.
fallen fence, and
we all hate equally. Yes.
Your Honor,
Okay.
because on that incident, after Mr. McMahon come from his deployment, he came to me.
Yeah.
And Roxanne, yes, 100%. He knows there. He's only there like 2 times a week. Keep in mind, like 2 times a week, and yes, he knows every move of theirs. So much so that he even noticed her up in the second story, staring down on him.
yes, I don't know.
I mean, that is a little stalkerish if you want to really call a spade here.
I mean, we're about to find out about him coming back from deployment. Anything could have happened then.
I wish she'd shut him. She shut him down one time, but that did not work. We were
I
so
think
close.
we've got all the evidence we need on that side, don't we? For
I
God's
would
sakes.
think. I mean, give these lovely people a chance.
August 4th. incident.
I think it's July 28. It's on Friday. I was just finished volunteer with the U.S. government. I came to my property, and I came to look at it. It was July, I believe, last Friday in July. I think it's
He left his job with the U.S. government.
That's okay.
Mr. McMahon, I was getting stuff out of my stuff. Mr. McMahon came out of front of his house. She said, "What kind of a soldier are you? You called police on my wife and you took my wife to court." That is
Okay.
somebody I want to start argument or something. Just for me to try to avoid. I just walk away. I just walk to my house and I just ignore him. I just ignore him. Your Honor, that is very harassment, and that is premeditated about what happened on August 4th, because she have the notion that I took her wife to court. I called police on her wife. That is one of the reasons I think the August 4th incident happened. I and him never have any business. We never have any. My first encounter with him, when I introduced myself to him, and I saw him, I was a additional safety officer for my unit. I see people with eye problem when they're doing lawnmower without you. I recommend to him, oh, Brian, I would recommend you put your goggles on, because there are a lot of people injured. The guy went to his house and put goggles on. He thanked me. He asked me if I need any equipment to work on my yard. I said, no, I don't need anything. He said, it seems you have everything. I don't have a problem with the guy, even though he doesn't talk to me. I don't have, it's just his wife. He just want to harass me. And if
There it is.
he said he's
So let me step you back there. So you say you have no problem with Mr. McMahon, but you describe August 4th.
on August 4th is where the issue with Mr. That's what frightened me. That
Okay.
combat speed and being assaulted before.
But before that, it was really what your concerns were.
She's not the one that had that weird nippley thing, was it, that she was drinking out of last time? Do you remember that though? There was, and then everybody's like, no, that's like a new fad or something.
It was like a
that.
giant sippy cup.
Yeah, like a giant sippy cup. I don't know why I feel that it might have been her.
Might have been her. She's doing a lot of drinking. She's very dry.
Parched.
Dry lady.
Celia McMahon.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you, all right. So if August 4th hadn't happened, then you wouldn't be asking for an order against Mr. McMahon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And also, not only beyond that threat he made on August 4th, I have nothing to lose.
Mhm.
And also coming to me on July 25th, that saying that you take my wife to court and you call police on my wife. What kind of a soldier are you? That is harassment down there, Your Honor.
All right. Well, let me turn to McMahon's and share their side of things. And I'm sure.
One
and
more
so-
try, Your Honor.
Probably. Obviously, I appreciate the McMahons held their peace, but also Mr. Saka, just you're going to hear things you don't agree with. So just hold your peace. And I've heard from you, and now I get to hear from them. So
with a strong warning of shut up. You're done. Thank God.
Mr. McMahon, Ms. McMahon, I can't hear from both of you at the same time. So
Yes, Your
who's gonna
Honor.
start us out.
I'm going to start us off, Your Honor, and I would like to just bring to Your Honor's attention that everything that is against my wife was already brought to the attention in case 23-000-162, in which was unsubstantiated, and a harassment claim against my wife, Celia McMahon. And I'm going to keep this very simple into the evidence of August 4th, and I will allude to the 28th of the last week in July, in which Mr. Sacre said so. On 4 August, Mr. Sacre claims that I was on the backyard and that I came to assault him. On page 26 of his personal referendum, it states that he said I assaulted him and that I was in my side yard. Under oath, he just stated that I came from my backyard. I was in
Tell
my
me what
backyard.
happened that day? Why don't you just tell me, Mr. McMahon, from your point of view, what happened that day?
At approximately 5:15, I moved to my backyard.
His gotcha moment, I think, was just kind of just.
Yeah, it was kind of more of a he's like, Your Honor. He said, and his thing is that came from the backyard, the side
Yeah,
yard.
he perjured
He just
himself.
said, I
Done.
don't know if you noticed, Your Honor. He said the backyard. She says, double sound effects.
Love it. Tiny Piggy, thank you. It didn't work, did it?
It didn't go over too well. It was more of a
Underneath my porch, I had just removed and replaced a toilet with my neighbor.
humble brag
Wait, what? You replaced a toilet
with
for
his
your
neighbor.
or with his neighbor? Oh.
With his neighbor. They tag teamed that bitch.
Had the toilet in the back. I was preparing to detach it and to move it into a bulk trash setting. I had called several days prior, and the bulk trash was going to cost me $150. So instead of that, I was going to move it to the dump. So I was out in my backyard behind a locked gate with privacy lines, in which Mr. Saka has taken several photos, which shows the privacy, which we have those fake vines and the fake vegetation. Mr. Saka at that time was in the front filming me. I moved privately, and I said, I said, you can film me. I'm just taking apart my toilet. And I took apart my toilet. At this time, Mr. Saka claims that at 5:17, I moved to assault him from behind a lock gate, behind a privacy fence. At 5:21, Your Honor, if you allude to one of the videos that was provided as evidence, at 5:21, there's approximately 45 to 50 seconds that shows me moving out of my front door and speaking to my wife, Celia, up on the second story window with a toilet in my hand, moving to the trunk of my car to move it to the trunk of my car for proper disposal. At that time, Mr. Saka was on his phone.
Sir, it's boot around here, please. Boot about putting a toilet into the back. That's disgusting.
In the front yard, and I waited for the police to arrive. August 4th, simply put, he has made several submissions of moving to attempt, threatening to attempt, and then assaulting. Inconsistent statements. I allude to pages 4, 9, 16, and 26 to show inconsistencies in his statement and what he just stated today.
All right, let me just hear from you again. I'm trying to clarify. You're on August 4th, and you didn't help me understand. Did you come over near the water turn on, turn off at all?
At no time. It wasn't until afterwards I even realized that we had the shared water. I had never even realized that in the front property there was a shared water valve. In his police statement, in which Mr. Saka omitted, and we did provide,
coming in hot
clearly
and heavy.
states that at no time did Mr. Saka say to the police that I had attempted to assault him. He only said in the police statement that he was afraid if he moved to the water line that I would assault him. So, Your Honor, what it demonstrates is inconsistencies plus the video evidence to suggest I can back up my claim as to what I was doing. Your Honor, I'd like to move forward to the second police phone call, if that's okay by you, which was made approximately 6:15. At 6:15, Mr. Saka claims that my wife, Celia, was making gestures from the second story porch in which she's provided ample pictures of our property and of us on our property. At that time, at 6:15, we have an approximate video, Your Honor, that you may have already reviewed, about 5 to 10 minutes, showing different clips of my wife speaking with her friend about our back neighbors and our issues with the dogs and how they put up a privacy line. At no time, Your Honor, during any time in which he had called the police, do you
So I
ever
have
think
issues
my
with
wife-
everybody.
Sounds that
That's
way,
very
yeah.
telling. They have
Mhm.
problems with everybody, and the neighbor behind them has dogs. And I see, plot thickens.
But he's doing well though.
He's killing it.
Especially after hearing the other dude ramble on.
Any obscene gestures, making any hand or arm gestures, or pointing her phone in the direction of Mr. Saka at any time. Those videos clearly demonstrate that there were inconsistencies in his statement as to what he said. I have it on video. The reason we have those videos is because Mr. Saka has repeatedly videoed, which he has not submitted, taken still photographs on my own property, which I know is not illegal. However, it shows that he is the one that is showing all the picture evidence and all the video evidence. In between August 4th and our current time, Your Honor, there has been several claims of an odor coming from our backyard in reference to dog feces. I would like to allude to the fact that I'm sorry about the exact date, but on this date, the public health was called in between August 4th and the present to respond to an incident of odor after the August 4th incident in the police record. At that time, I responded immediately. It said there was an official note that was sent to ours. It was never sent to our direction. It was never, ever brought to our attention. When I responded, I said immediately, you can come out as soon as feasible to come inspect my property.
One thing that we know about this incident that he's talking about, there was a dumping event. FYI, no doubt.
That property was inspected, Your Honor, and there was no substantial evidence. It was nothing that would ever prove that was any odor or any illegal disposal of fecal matter at the dogs on part of our dog, in which we have an 8-pound golden retriever, and which is the reason that my back gate is locked so that he cannot paw it open and get out the back door because our gate is a little offset due to some uneven concrete. So Your Honor, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Fence, and then you think about a foot, 2 feet between your chain link fence and
Your Honor, at a certain point, his chain link fence clearly leans on our property.
yes,
It leans on our fence line, which has been determined that it's our fence. We made no attempts other than other than the fact that we had a discussion with Mr. Saka, and this was prior to my 9-month deployment rotation to Korea, in which I did not return until July 12th, when I returned from the 9 months. Everything
Korean
else
War.
that Mr. Saka alluded to between the months of October and up until July was all my wife Celia, in which, like I state again, case 162 on 5 June 23. All of his claims were already the same claims that he has made. He has made no new claims against my wife, other than her making obscene gestures on the back porch, in which it's proven by video that did not occur.
So, so then your petition, maybe we can get to what you would like the court to consider
I bet
hearing.
he's fun to get in a fight with.
Your Honor,
Anything.
we are
Go
simply simply requesting that this stop. This has been over a year of consistent accusations that have either been unsubstantiated through prior cases or through video evidence just prove that these incidents occurred. We have an 8-year-old son who has been impacted by this because we have put up cameras, we have put up things to deter this aggression, in which he continuously finds ways to either photograph or show anything on our property. Your Honor, to allude even to a fact, on the 28th of July,
Let me
or the 25th,
ask you, like I asked Mr. Saka, and we'll come back to some of that, but what exactly do you want the court to do with an order? Because again, you share a property line, you share a street, you share some neighbors.
You share
What
water,
exactly do you
apparently,
want
too.
the court to order Mr. Saka not to
Not
do?
you, Celia.
we would like
The cops on us.
I'm one
Things
person
that
at a
we did.
time. I'll come to you, Miss Celia, but I need to hear
She
from one.
was just waiting to say something.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. We would simply like the fact that the police are no longer contacted for anything that is completely unsubstantiated. We would like a no contact order in place, in which through any third party, we would like him to no longer be able to video us freely on our property or to bring up a camera and show any still photographies. We want zero contact with Mr. Saka, and he can continue to work on his property in quiet. We simply want it all to stop. We no longer want to be facing these on any defense or any offense. We want a no contact. We want a no ability for him to call the police and to change his statements, as he has done several
I
times.
can't
throughout-
stop him from calling the police, I don't think. I don't think
So,
that's possible.
How would you propose then, if an order were issued either side or both here, how you would deal with property line issues, or the same area where the water turn on and turn off is, or walking by each other's house because that's a public sidewalk? What?
Your Honor, I mean, as
You
far as
want
the public,
answers. I
as
want the
far as
truth.
public
You
water line,
can't handle
my
the
vow is
truth.
clearly on my
You
property.
can't handle the truth.
That is not, and our chain link fence, in no way or another have we ever impeded on his property as far as that. As far as the public, he has a privacy fence up, in which he has erected and put up. I have no visible contact other than the fact of me walking from my front yard to my car or down the street to walk my dogs, in which I'm free to walk in any which way I want to. And I've chosen to walk other ways, but at some point, taking a loop around our neighborhood, because this is a through street, I do walk our dog, and so does my wife Celia walk our 80-pound retriever.
There it is.
Say that everything that he has stated
Big
is
dog.
public property, and that there's nothing that can be stated on it, and that the argument in question about me assaulting him on August 4th is a personal attack on me, because he claims that at 19 years I have nothing to lose, is what I stated. Your Honor, anybody in the military would know at 19 years I have everything to lose. I am 1 year. I have put in and submitted for a retirement, Your Honor. I am 1 year from a full compensation for a career in which I thought I have served honorably. I have everything to lose. There is no reasonable way that I would ever, after a 9-month deployment on my very last rotation with an 8-year-old child, with a wife to consider, with a house and a property, that I would ever consider ruining my career of 19 years for a domestic dispute in which it would take away my ability to carry a weapon, take away my ability to serve in the Army, and could lead to my dismissal prior to my retirement. There's no way I could have that happen, Your Honor. That is something that I would never, ever, ever, ever do. And we have video evidence suggests it didn't occur. Your Honor, I might be rambling a little bit, and if it's okay by you, I don't want to go.
We've done seen that.
A lot. I would like to just move it over to my wife Celia, if that's okay.
He makes a very, very valid point on that, though. He really does, and that is part of this that you got.
Okay, so if he gets to the TPO, is that game over for him? Like if Mr. Sacco gets
the way he just painted that picture, yeah, but I can't imagine that that's not when you're working, right? I mean, then you're on the job. I mean, what if I get a protection order against a cop?
Yeah, he can't personally own a weapon, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I would imagine you still have one. Feel free to shoot anybody you like. It's your job.
But I think but I would imagine at work, let's say, I would imagine he could. I don't know. That's it. That we've never.
I mean, he's not. Look, I mean, I don't know how many people here are military. I've been around a lot of military people. At work, they're not toting guns. They're not. If they're doing some sort of running some sort of drills of some sort, or they're out there in the field, practicing and whatnot. Sure, but in general, they're not walking around strapped. They don't have a side piece or anything going on.
Yep. Let me just
Unless
see
you
if
have
I
any
got
further
the questions of you. One second.
Yes, Your Honor. Yep, yes, Your Honor.
Celia's ready, boy. She is ready.
Yeah. What the dog doing?
That's a big dog, man.
Celia? I thought she'd be shot out of a cannon.
She's waiting for the judge to give her the nudge. The judge nudge. Anybody got an idea what's going to happen here? Because it's TPOs both ways.
I hope it's a wash because
yeah, hopefully nobody gets one, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere with that.
I don't. Yeah, that's true.
Celia McMahon, and anything that you'd like to add or say or focus in on here?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. I just
Well, start with your petition. There's lots of allegations that you make and lots of information that you filed. And so you're asking, maybe I'll help direct you there. We heard from your husband what he thinks he would like the court in order to issue. What do you think?
I have had no contact
with
Mr. Saka since October.
Well, no, what do you want? What are you asking of the court? Do you agree with your husband that no contact with you from Mr. Saka? Don't enter your property. Don't take videos or photos of you or your family. Anything else?
Yes. The most important thing is he harasses us through third parties, through the cops, through other neighbors, through public health, through the city of Lacey, through certified mail. He will not leave me alone. That's what I want him to stop doing, to leave me alone, because my husband left from October to June and he was relentless with me. And that's why I put up privacy screens and a sign, and I had to buy cameras. I spent money to keep him out of my life and protect my son, because we're living alone. I don't have any family out here. I have one friend, and this guy would not leave us alone. And we're not the only neighbors either. I have statements.
I'm talking to you and Mr. McMahon. I'm not talking about other neighbors. They haven't filed any petitions. They haven't put any evidence forward that can be tested. So I want to hear about your situation and yours only. So being left alone means some of those things, but also you're asking that I order him not to make any reports to any government agency or
false reports. I mean, unsubstantiated report. It was relentless. It just kept coming. I mean, I had to buy cameras so it would stop. So I had proof that the wind had knocked over his poorly built fence. It's on camera. I still have it, but yet he will still tell you that I knocked it over, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I had to buy cameras, so I put a stop to it, and it's not putting a stop to it. We have cameras all over this house now because of him, because of the false allegations, and I want it to stop. We spent a lot of money to keep him out of our lives, and I want it to stop. And that's it. That's all I want.
Thank you, Celia.
Let's see if
I thought that was going to be a lot longer. So good job, Celia.
I have some particular questions of you. And so was there ever a time that there was a workable relationship that you had with Mr. Saka?
Yes, he stated, we spoke in May. He had asked us
Last year, 2022?
Yes, last year, if it would be okay to cut branches. And me and Brian were both out there in the yard, and we told him, you can do whatever you want. It's like, please do, because all those trees out there are crazy. He stated today that we gave him attitude about it, but then he sends us a certified letter not too long ago, but that says, as a reminder, we spoke on May 28th about the tree branches. You specifically gave me permission to cut the tree branches, but today he's telling you that we didn't. It doesn't make any sense. But that's fine. We were fine until October.
Trees needing trimmed. Then how did it go south?
October, he began to build his fence on top of, right against our chain link. And they were just makeshift crooked boards, broken, painted, and it was all pointed to our property. And there isn't anything we could do about that. But he started to drop down screen doors, broken trash in between our fences. And there were boards with screws and nails in between our fence, just a bunch of garbage in between our fence. And I provided photos, and there were nails sticking out through my chain link fence. And I confronted Mr. Saka. I said, can you not do that? He came out screaming at me. And that's when I walked around to speak to him on his property. I didn't even realize I was on his property. He told me to get off. I jumped back, and I'm trying to talk to him. I said, please, whatever you do, I don't care about this fence, but don't drop down dangerous materials in between the fence. I have a kid. I have dogs.
Yeah, yes.
And then ever since then, I feel like, I don't know. I didn't have any contact with him at all until January, when he called the cops on me. And I provided all those pictures as well, with the wind speeds knocking over his fence, because it's not well built. It's in pieces, and he's got 4x4s, and the fence along our property was not the only piece of fence that had fallen, but yet he called the cops on me. And I've never had a cop at my door, so that gave me really bad anxiety. And it was after that I bought cameras, because I knew that he would do it again, and he did. But this time I had camera proof, and I invited the
So Mr. Saka,
Did it just
filed
restarted?
an 324,
No, it shouldn't. It looks right there.
but you're also responding in 246. So anything more that you want the court to know on your petition, or any more about your response?
We're right on track,
Yes,
right?
I know.
That was
Yeah, she just wrapped it up.
Yeah, of Mr. and Mrs. McMahon.
All right, I guess we're about to get a verdict here in a second. So look, guys.
yeah.
All right, I really didn't care for her in the very first case. By the way, if you have not watched the first go around of this, it's down below in the description. There's a link. But this time around, I don't know. I feel a little more sympathetic.
Did the kind of stutters and hesitation and stuff maybe pull at your heartstrings just a little bit to change your mind? I don't know if that was genuine or not. That's not something very easy to act out, I don't think.
No, and he's, you know, I don't think the neighbor's dangerous. I think
No.
he's
A nuisance.
a nuisance for sure with
I-
some of the things he's doing.
Also, one thing you got to think about, and I think that Brian had said that they have a child also.
Yeah, that was another thing with the
yeah, they-
8-year-old kid outside
yeah, they-
playing and stuff.
Remember, she was there living by herself. Most likely, this is an area that fairly new to. If she's only got one friend, no family around, him gone, deployed
Military
like that.
families move around a lot.
Right. So I'm guessing you kind of got to take that into consideration. Her living with her child alone. Him.
You don't know what she
gone.
was going through personally and whatnot.
Right.
And maybe this was just enough, to push her in that direction. I know people going, typically people say we're misogynists, but I don't know what they'll call us after this video. I feel like she's kind of in the right a little bit more than before.
I look at it this way: if
It was all handled badly, everything.
yes,
but
I think by all of them,
it snowballed. It got way out of hand way too quickly. But I don't believe she intentionally is doing anything like maybe we thought before.
Yeah. He seems a bit over the top. There's no doubt about that. Ashley Marie, thank you. Late fee for $4.69. Granted. Thank you.
We are neighbors. I bought the property a year ago for my brother who lost another brother that's want to relocate him from
Wait.
East Coast down there. And when I bought the property was I bought it as it is. You probably have a lot.
We have restarted. No? Didn't he already say this?
He's about a friend of a brother who'd lost a brother.
To plumbing, to electrical, you name it. So for a year now, I've been working on the house.
No. It started over.
Uh,
I mean, it's at 102, the video. Should I maybe try and
Refresh
refresh
it
it or
real fast.
something?
Yeah.
102.
I don't know why that has happened.
Why
That's
does
very
that?
strange. A glitch in the matrix. While Creed is fixing that for us, and we get our vertex. Don't forget to like the video. I know it's annoying when people say, "Oh, please like this," but it helps a lot. It really does.
Case 23246.
All right. Now I just redid it and it said that it was a 30-second video.
Oh, did you edit it? Creed? When you did you hit a button, maybe?
No, why is that trying?
Okay. Let me play the end of it.
You might need to. I don't know
what.
what it did.
Give me one moment, please. Creed, tell everybody what we got planned for the rest of the day.
I have no idea. Taco Tuesday, maybe. For We Gotta Chase today, 405 East. Leather and Lashes, member of 9 months. And also something kind of special for those of you who want to join me later on We Got a Jackpot. I've got a buddy of mine that won quite a bit and is kind of giving us $500 to piss away by doing guaranteed at least five $100 bonus buys and kind of see where we're at, what happens there, which is going to be quite fun, to say the least. Billy, thank you. 17 months, remember? Great time. Anybody else have any milestones they'd like to celebrate? Great time to do it, by the way. Just FYI. Is your video maybe effed up? Oh, you're muted. I had the weirdest thing today. Everything was working just fine. I start up the TV just like normal, and I go to YouTube, and no YouTube videos were playing sound at all. Anything else that I would go to it, and then so I restarted it 2 times. It still wasn't playing sound. Then all of a sudden, it just started. It was really scary because I don't know what I would do. Yeah, shrimp tacos, fish tacos. No, thank you. I don't think I could edit anything anyways. I'm not logged in or anything. I'm just a guest. I don't know why it does.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it's fine.
Weird. Yeah, $500. He had a big win. I'm not going to say who it was.
I was going to say, are you going to name drop?
No, they want to remain anonymous. Probably because they don't want their wife to know if they had a big win. And, maybe I don't know. I'm just guessing. But awesome of them. They said if we win big, going to cut me off a little slice, at least enough to do a couple more streams this week. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, guaranteed $500 bonuses. I think that if he even goes halfway decent then we'll buy some more. But we're guaranteed at least to see that, which I think is just, maybe just really a quick stream. Ashley Marie, thank you for the milestone. We need that. Oh, Lola. All right, good. Thank you. As Mikey still 11 months a member, by the way. 5 months a member.
Sorry, I wasn't set up. I hadn't even logged in on this computer into StreamYard, so I had to hurry up and do that.
Now over here, like I can't even pull up this link, and it's telling me to log into Facebook, which is weird. It was a Facebook link that you sent me. I don't know why it would ask me to log in. That's
so weird.
I don't understand what happened.
All right, we're back into it.
We gave him attitude
No attitude given here, Kieran. No, thank you so much.
about it, but then he sends us a certified letter not too long ago, but that says, as a reminder, we spoke on May 28th about the tree branches. You specifically gave me permission to cut the tree branches, but today he's telling you that we didn't.
Today, Junior.
It doesn't make any sense, but that's fine. We were fine until October.
Trees needing trimmed. Then how did it go south?
October, he began to build his fence.
She didn't do this last
on
time,
top
right?
What, stutter?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I don't
but
remember it.
She is either very distraught or nervous. I don't know. It's getting worse by the second. I feel bad for her because that's pretty bad.
Right against our chain link. And they were just makeshift crooked boards, broken, painted, and it was all pointed to our property. And there isn't anything we could do about
made out
that.
of pallets.
But he started to drop down screen doors, broken trash in between our fences. And there were boards with screws and nails in between our fence, just a bunch of garbage in between our fence. And I provided photos, and there were nails sticking out through my chain link fence. And I confronted Mr. Saka. I said, can you not do that? He came out screaming at me. And that's when I walked around to speak to him on his property. I didn't even realize I was on his property. He told me to get off. I jumped back, and I'm trying to talk to him. I said, please, whatever you do, I don't care about this fence, but don't drop down dangerous materials in between the fence. I have a kid, I have dogs. And then ever since then, I feel like, I don't know, I didn't have any contact with him at all until January when he called the cops on me.
Hey.
And
Very stressful.
I provided all those pictures as well with the wind speeds knocking over his fence, because it's not well built. It's in pieces, and he's got 4x4s, and
we've heard
the fence along our property was not the only piece of fence that had fallen, but yet he called the cops on me. And I've never had a cop at my door, so it gave me really bad anxiety. And it was after that I bought cameras, because I knew that he would do it again, and he did. But this time I had camera proof, and I invited the police officer into my home to view the footage, which I don't think that's illegal. I don't think that's unprofessional at all. Because if I'm getting hit with false claims, I have the right to protect myself. And I showed.
Any comment on the sign about nothing in this house is worth dying for? Anything?
Thank you, Simon.
The show's definitely worth dying for, though. I mean, I don't, again, unless she says anything other than like, yeah, I want people to know we're packing heat in here, bud. That's the goods.
And about that.
He would stare at me through my fence into our yard. So I put up a bunch of fake ivy, like a privacy screen to cover our side yard fence. And I put that sign up because I am living alone with a small child, and I felt I needed to put something up like that because I felt fearful. of this man.
And so, all right, so that
Mhm.
sign and his, Mr. Osaka's point of view is it's on his side of your property, and there isn't another one on the other side.
Nope, I
Anything to
didn't have
say
any-
there?
Well,
No need. She's got a problem with that neighbor. Again, I don't know. It's the mind of a very scared person, perhaps. I don't know. She is really winning me over. I hate to say.
Both of them kind of did win me over today, which I'm kind of shocked at this, really, to be honest with you.
the other side yard is just like a tiny alley. So I don't
Okay,
put anything up
so
there.
there's not someone next door to
No.
your house?
No.
Okay,
Well, yes,
but there's, well, maybe you can help me understand that. What's on the other side of your property line?
but my neighbor Larry,
Oh,
Okay, so there's a house there,
Larry,
but there's an alley. between-
lawman.
like a tiny alleyway. Yeah.
And then you and your neighbor Larry, you have a workable relationship then?
Whatever his last name is,
Absolutely.
Boner,
Okay, and so is that why maybe you didn't put a sign on that side?
on our Facebook.
Or not?
Well,
There's a guy named
from
Larry
that
that
side
comments a lot.
fence, there isn't a gate there. It's just a tiny piece of fence, and it doesn't look into our yard at all. It's just like a tiny alley. So I don't have a need to really put up a privacy screen there.
No, the
Yes.
sign, the sign.
She's breaking my
Well,
heart.
there isn't a gate on that side, no, but there's
Okay.
a gate where the sign is. So if anybody's trying to get into the gate, then they're gonna see it.
Okay. All right, and then all these allegations that you were flipping him off and calling him a liar and those sort of things, that one in particular in May, I think we already heard that actually, but those kind of things. In August 4th, we
The
got
old
you
double
now.
barrel.
Any comment about what Mr. Saka says he thinks he heard you say?
In May, I mean,
No,
He's
in
already-
August and
Oh.
July, and we've already heard all of the May issues in June, so.
well, I was there, but I didn't have a chance to really talk about May. If that's
August 4th,
August 4th.
think about, that big event
why not?
where we're hearing from Mr. Saka what he feels happened. We heard from Mr. McMahon what he feels happened, and then Mr. Saka is alleging that you were flipping him off, calling him a liar. We got you now. Anything to comment?
I have security cameras on my back porch as well because of him. So all that footage I pulled from that day, and there isn't anything about me ever doing that. None.
All right, anything else, Ms. McMahon?
She seems believable this time around.
A lot more. Maybe
I
because
don't
she's a
know.
little more
I think
calm.
Need to pause and look, or?
Again, she didn't get a TPO put against her last
I don't know.
time. So.
What is
Well, you've provided a lot of information. I've reviewed it all.
Yeah.
If there's nothing more, that's fine. You've provided it to the court. And as Mr. Saka has, I've reviewed all of his too. Mr. McMahon, anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
They've all said
Okay.
there's pictures and video that the judge
Tons.
had seen. Yeah.
Yeah, the judge sees it. We don't with
Right.
this state. It's not like Georgia.
Just kind of look through. So folks, I'm going to make a decision, as I said, under the law here, and you may disagree with it, you may agree with it, I don't know, but you don't get to respond at this stage. If you disagree with it, there is an appeal process. But I am going to issue an order for each of you. I find there's credible evidence from each of you of unlawful harassment, but I'm going to structure
What?
it very carefully because you now are both in jeopardy if you
Oh,
violate those orders of
shit.
criminal
Wow.
charges. And what the order is, I mean, you share a property line, you've had a long course of, and both I'm finding have directed at each other unlawful harassment, and therefore I'm issuing these orders against each other. You share a property line, you share a street, and all that, but, and it then makes it difficult and limiting What I'm going to say is you don't contact each other. You don't contact each other through other folks, through family, through friends, through neighbors, through social media, through phone calls in any way. You don't contact each other.
Yeah, that's pretty much that on.
Wow.
Wow. I feel really
yeah.
bad, especially for Mr. McMahon over here. I expected a double denial just as as a push like before,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I thought with some strong wording from the judge, maybe because it's the second time they've been in, that she felt as if she got to do something about it.
Or they're just going to keep coming back and back and back. Maybe. I don't know,
That's
but
entirely possible.
I hope it's some sort of, she does something where it doesn't affect this man's military career.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awful.
She's gonna I would imagine take the time and word things properly, but man,
that is a tough one. Oh,
Yeah.
I hate to see that. And
That's
again, Celia won us over this time, where last time we thought maybe she was causing problems. This time we felt a little differently.
we did. Interesting. I don't know.
I do feel bad for them.
The Sock It To Me Express. Sale says bye. He already left. Mayor, thank you. Kendra, Tiny Piggy, Simon J. The bond. I like that. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. We'll be back 405 East for Taco Tuesday.
And we'll be back before you know it, kids. Everybody stay safe, stay hard, stay tuned, because you never know what's going to happen. Make sure you hit the old comment too. Leave us a comment. Even if you want to cause us bad words, we get tons of those. We appreciate them all. You guys
hear the rest. There's only 2 more minutes worth.
The rest, there's nothing to hear.
This court cannot make orders that disallows any of you, when you have a good faith belief that you should call regulatory commissions or cops or whatever. This court can't limit that with the evidence that's before it. But I can say that you don't contact each other, and that also means don't take pictures of each other, don't take photos of each other, don't take videos of each other. Now that makes it difficult if you've got video cameras all over your homes now and you're looking at each other's homes. Don't enter each other's property. You share a property line. Just don't step onto each other's property. I don't know what you're going to do about that property line and that shared area, that sort of no man's zone between the fences. And I'm not making a property line decision. And if you've got an issue about the use of your property and your neighbor's property, that's for Superior Court to talk about, to argue about where your property line is and what should happen. I can't make those orders. I don't have that much power, but I can say here from what I've heard that you don't contact each other and you don't go on each other's property.
There you go. I'm glad we stayed for that. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye. Sometimes the guys in the truck know where to stop it.
Sometimes they make the right choices.
They made the great calls.